Fantasy Footballers Sunday Live.
Look who's got a fancy new theme song. That's right. What's up, everybody? Mike, the Fantasy Hitman, Wright, from the Fantasy Footballers podcast. How's everybody doing? It's a fine Sunday. It's a week 11. Oh, brother. This music's got me pumped up, Brooks. How you doing back there?
I'm pumped up now myself.
That's right. Welcome in Sunday Live. Welcome in one and all. We're going to be getting to your start-sit questions, going over some news. You know, just have an overall tilt fest because that's what fantasy football is all about. Oh, man. It's good to be back. Good to be back in the studio. I hope everyone is having a fine Sunday. So, Brooks, we are going to get into the news, and we got some other new fun stuff. Oh.
The big picture.
That's right. We're getting into the big picture where we break down the ins, the outs, the weather. Look, not a lot of weather to talk about today. There is one in particular, though. Brooks, I don't even know if you realize what is happening here. We'll start with that. Guess who gets to play in his third weather game straight? Third straight weather game. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, who has been just terrible for fantasy football because the Cleveland Browns have been put in situations where the wind has destroyed their lives. But Philadelphia at Cleveland is going to be raining. Is going to be wet that entire game. Sloppy. I will slightly downgrade the passing game. I mean, the runners from this matchup, you know, Sanders, Chubb, Hunt, they're all still good to go. But it's just really, really funny that what is going on in Cleveland, man? Get your weather straight. All right. The other part of the big picture, the ins and the outs. So Matty Stafford for the Detroit Lions, he is going to play. It was quite the back and forth for the Carolina Panthers this morning where it was announced Teddy Bridgewater is active, so you presumed he was going to start. Then it was, well, Teddy Bridgewater's active, but actually P.J. Walker is going to start for the Panthers, and Teddy Bridgewater will be the emergency quarterback. Thought, okay, that makes sense. And then Teddy Bridgewater was ruled out. So I don't know, man. So he's not playing. He's going to take a week off. The good news is for Teddy Bridgewater, if he was this close to being active and, you know, being the emergency quarterback, that sounds like good news for next week. Drew Lock is going to play. He's been fighting through injury and overall just bad quarterback play. See if he can get through that. I don't think it's going to happen against the Dolphins. At the running back position, DeAndre Swift out. In the Patriots, there was a little bit of question marks coming here. Damian Harris was expected to play, is going to play. He's been fighting through injuries for the last couple weeks as well. And Sony Michel was activated off of the IR. However, Sony Michel is not going to play today. He's going to be out. Joe Mixon. What? Joe Mixon on the IR. So now he will miss 3 additional games to the games that he has already missed. And that's minimum. I think we may have seen the last of Joe Mixon for the 2020 season. Unfortunately, that's what my spider senses are telling me is going to happen. Devontae Adams is going to play for the Packers. Allen Lazard is expected to be back. We might see limited snaps. You can't play him for fantasy yet, but he is worth stashing on the bench. Calvin Ridley, triumphant return for the Atlanta Falcons. And this matchup got even juicier for the Falcons against the Saints as Marshawn Lattimore, the number 1 cover corner for the Saints, will be out. Upgrade to Julio Jones as if you didn't already have him at the top. We got Kenny Golladay is out. Marvin Jones is in. Those are kind of the, you know, storylines you got to know about for the Detroit Lions. Stafford is still, I guess, sort of in play here, but, you know, tough. And he doesn't have Danny Amendola either. At the tight end position, Noah Fant expected to play. Big Irv for the Vikings is expected to play. Not that you are starting him. Noah Fant is a curious case. He is a tough case because his quarterback is not good at being a quarterback in the NFL, and the matchup is very difficult, and he's been banged up. But what sucks is we know what Noah Fant can do. We know who Noah Fant can be. But unfortunately for fantasy right now, I don't think that you can trust him. Brooks, are you ready for your turn to join the stream in our new segment called
He's so hot right now.
And you know we're talking about Brooks because Brooks is so hot all the time.
Wow, thank you, Mike.
So here in this section of the show, this brand new segment, you've never heard of this before, the fantasyfootballers.com, that's where we have all of our rankings. We have our fabulous, star-studded, award-winning probably. I mean, someone probably gave it an award because it's so great. But our start-sit tool is available on the website. Got a question that I don't have to touch on a player here in today's Sunday Live. You want to know further, the fantasyfootballers.com. Boom, boom, put in 2 players, and it's going to let you know who we would start based on a variety of things in our algorithms, our just a bunch of other variables that are built into that. Or you support this independent podcast on jointhefoot.com. You get a bunch of really cool perks like an extra show every week, and a bunch of access to our tools, which keep getting better, more robust, more information, and start sit tool becomes 4 players. All right, Brooks, who is trending on the start sit tool this week? This mighty fine week 11 on the fantasyfootballers.com.
A lot of the usual suspects, Mike. We have Giovanni Bernard is clearly the top search player.
He's the king. He's the king of the start search. Star search.
He's at Washington, and why don't you go ahead and do Giovanni Bernard or Antonio Gibson in the same game?
All right, hit me with that again. Hit Giovanni Bernard and Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, and might as well throw J.D. McKissick in there too.
Oh man, start sit all-stars these days. J.D. McKissick. Look, J.D. McKissick, if you're in a half or a full point PPR, he's every week. He's in. He's locked and loaded for me. He's a must play. Giovanni Bernard, I get it. He is a little bit more difficult to figure out. Right now, I have him sitting at right around my running back 18. The matchup with Washington is not good for fantasy running backs. The Washington defense is legit. So if I had to go between Giovanni Bernard and Antonio Gibson, I would play Antonio Gibson. Personally, the yardage just hasn't really been there, but touchdown opportunities. He touched the ball. He touched the ball on 3rd down this past week, which is a huge improvement for Antonio Gibson. Alex Smith makes Washington much, much better. So they're going to score on the Cincinnati Bengals. So Antonio Gibson should see an opportunity to score, or at least an opportunity to get a carry inside the 5. J.D. McKissick is in. I would play him over Giovanni Bernard as well. Gio's still a fine play because of volume. Samaje Perine's behind him, but it's Giovanni Bernard as the go-to guy, and he can catch passes. But if you're looking at the Washington players, I would go with them. Before we go back to Brooks, I suppose we should touch on the biggest topic of the day. Tight end superstar, starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, Taysom Hill. And how do I have him ranked if you are playing, like ESPN, FanDuel, where he is tight end eligible? Number 1. He's the top option at the tight end position. Maybe we play Travis Kelce over him. I don't know, but here's the thing: he's a starting quarterback. He is a rushing quarterback. He is the number 1 tight end of the week of all time. If you can play him in your tight end spot at the quarterback position, I'm far more bearish. Bearish in that situation. Like, I'm going to play Kirk Cousins over him. I'm going to play Matt Ryan over him. He's a fine play because he is a rushing quarterback. At least we presume that's what we're going to see a lot of from Taysom Hill, because that's all we have seen from Taysom Hill in the past. But, like a high-end quarterback too is about where I have him ranked. What's interesting to me, I think it's kind of getting lost in everything, is Taysom Hill is super exciting because he can be your tight end in certain league platforms, league providers. That's where the excitement really is. As far as streaming the quarterback position, though, if you're excited about Taysom Hill, you should also be excited about P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker has more experience playing professional football than Taysom Hill does, and PJ has got a head coach who knows how to use him. He's surrounded by talent, and he's playing the Detroit Lions. So just wanted to make my case there that if you're in a single quarterback league freaking out about Taysom Hill, you should be considering PJ Walker as well. All right, Brooks, who else is trending on the start sit tool?
Let's stick with Gio Gio or Duke Johnson versus the Patriots.
All right. I have Duke Johnson ranked slightly ahead. He took every single running back attempt last week. Now, it was not very fruitful due to the circumstances of the game where neither offense could get anything going. It wasn't just Baker Mayfield. Deshaun Watson could not get anything going as well. So I'm not blaming Baker for that one. But so Duke Johnson against the Patriots. Oh man, or Giovanni Bernard. I would go with Duke Johnson. I like the offense a little bit more for the Houston Texans. Stephon Gilmore is supposed to be back from his knee injury. We'll see how close to 100% he is. I mean, he's going to guard Will Fuller. Obviously, he's not guarding Duke Johnson, but it's a little bit of a downgrade to the Houston Texans offense. Gilmore is very good. He's the type of cornerback that can change the shape of a game, but I barely go Duke over Giovanni Bernard in that case.
Mike, pick your DJ. Chark or Moore. Chark versus Patriots or DJ Moore versus the Lions?
Oh, man. You mean, wait, DJ Chark versus the Steelers?
Yeah, did I say that wrong?
You did. You said the Patriots, and you confused me greatly.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry, everyone watching.
You're fine. All right. So DJ Chark versus the Steelers. The big play could happen. We've seen it at least. This isn't just wishing upon a star. It's you have tangible proof that Jake Luton can hit DJ Chark with a deep strike, and the Steelers give up a bunch of those. They have given up a bunch of those over the course of the season. Oh, man. DJ Moore, that is a tough scenario. I know I just made the case for P.J. Walker, but that's the case for P.J. Walker. That's not necessarily the case for his weapons. Robbie Anderson, man, Robbie Anderson seems like he would be the go-to guy for Walker, for head coach Matt Ja Rule, not wanting to overload Walker with, designing up these deep strikes. Walker's a very mobile quarterback, so he can get things done on the ground and scramble around if he needs to buy time for a DJ Moore deep shot. This is a very, very difficult question, and I'll give you my example. In our league of record, I am struggling between DJ Moore and Hollywood Marquise Brown, Marquise Brown is playing the Tennessee Titans. That matchup is glorious. Kenny Vaccaro, their safety for the Tennessee Titans, he is out. I mean, it's an upgrade for the passing game of the Ravens, and I'm staring down that decision versus DJ Moore. Right now, DJ Moore is in my lineup. I don't know if that's how it's going to end up being by kickoff time, but that's how it is right now. If I had the choice of going DJ Moore or DJ Chark, holy crap, I'll go DJ Moore. That one is, I apologize. I don't have a very good case for either of those players. That's a bit of a coin flip. Brooks, do you have any softballs for me to just smash out of the park?
We'll see about this one. This is popular. DJ Chark or Robert Woods at Tampa Bay.
All right, I like that one better because I feel way more confident in Robert Woods than I do with DJ Chark. The matchup stinks for Robert Woods, obviously, but it's him. It's Josh Reynolds. Cooper Kupp is on the mend. Cooper Kupp's playing. I don't want to freak anybody out, but I'm saying he's on the mend. Saw about 50% of the snaps last week. Could see that transition over to the more of a 12 personnel as they lost left tackle Andrew Whitworth. But I'm still going to go with Robert Woods there. I'm going to take the volume. What's next?
Chark or T. Higgins?
T. Higgins.
At Washington.
T. Higgins.
Yeah?
All right. I think we've gotten to the point where I don't want to play DJ Chark, but if you're going to put someone like DJ Moore who has a backup quarterback playing, then it's a very difficult decision. But otherwise, it's not. The answer is not DJ Chark right now, unfortunately.
All right, it's time, Mike.
All right.
To the people.
Oh, we're going to the people? All right, well, let's get into this brand new segment.
Stardom, set 'em.
Oh, man. Who came up with that name? That's amazing. All right, everybody. Actually, before we got to do the housekeeping. Before we get into Stardom Sit, I want to thank today's sponsor. Oh, I'm blocking it with the water bottle. Pristine Auction, the best sports memorabilia site of all time. Legendary sponsors of this podcast. We want to thank them for sponsoring the show. Go check them out, man. Make a completely free account. Use the code BALLERS. When you do, you're going to get $10 credit for your first auction victory. So $10 off of an already underpriced. Don't tell them, but things can be underpriced over there on Pristine Auction because it's an auction. Sometimes you win stuff for cheaper. It's Christmas time, man. Go to pristineauction.com. Use the code BALLERS. All right, start sit. All right, well let's just stay with terribly hard questions. Daniel wants to know at tight end, Noah Fant or Jared Cook. I don't know why I read this question. It's hard. I'm gonna go with Jared Cook. The matchup is solid for Jared Cook, so at least we have that going. The matchup for Noah Fant is very difficult. The matchup for the Denver Broncos offense is very difficult. So even though it's Taysom Hill as the quarterback, I mean, is Taysom Hill a better quarterback than Drew Lock? Maybe. That's maybe. Man, I've crapped on Drew Lock a lot on this live stream. I apologize to his family. Next question from Andrew says, Cam or Burrow? Okay, so I like Cam Newton this week. He gets to play the Houston Texans. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow will be playing Washington. You got to go with Cam Newton in that situation. Like I said, Washington's defense is no joke. Burrow he'll volume his way to probably an okay game, but Cam Newton, as we highlighted on the podcast this week, it doesn't feel like Cam Newton has done anything special of note, except he's just a top 12 quarterback basically every single week. He's not giving you any ceiling games, unfortunately, but he is he's still there, and he's not really letting your team down, which is nice. All right, next question from Noah says, DJ Moore or Tyler Boyd? I would like to play Tyler Boyd in that scenario. Next question. Man, we're cruising, Brooks. We're cruising. Let's see. Next question becomes Joe says, Travis Fulgham, start or sit? I would start him. Am I missing something here, Brooks?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Yeah, you start Travis Fulgham. I'm being facetious because Travis Fulgham is fine. I get last week was a bit of a debacle, and you can choose how you want to read into it, that maybe it was the return of Jalen Reagor. People are getting healthy for the Philadelphia Eagles. I will say the Eagles are involved in that rain game that I talked about in Cleveland, where it's likely to be raining, the entire game. I mean, the last weather report, the last weather report I am seeing here for Philadelphia and Cleveland, from 11 o'clock to 5 p.m., the chance of precipitation is 100% every single hour. It's going to be soggy. It's going to be nasty. So, maybe if you have a better option than Fulgham, you can get away with it. Rain doesn't destroy fantasy value, but it certainly has at least a little bit of an effect. Let's see. Troy, which trash can quarterback should I ride with, Wentz or Tannehill? Well, just based off of that, based off of the 100% of the rain, maybe you go with Ryan Tannehill against Baltimore. Not the best scenario for either player. Next question comes in from Alecki. Says, Reagor or Ridley? Okay, fair question. If you are maybe you're not ready to trust Calvin Ridley the week back from the foot injury. But 2 limited practices, then a full practice, and no injury designation. That doesn't mean that it's not still bothering him at least a little bit, but Calvin Ridley is a wide receiver 1, and the matchup against the Saints is fine. It's not scary. Marshawn Lattimore, their best cornerback, is out. So I'm rolling with Calvin Ridley. I traded for him in our league of record. I am super excited to play him this week. I would be playing him over most options. But here's another one. Let's put it to the test. Galvatron says Calvin Ridley or Chase Claypool. Okay. It's going to be Calvin Ridley, but I at least have to hesitate here because the matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Jacksonville Jaguars it's so fantastic. It's so glorious. And Chase Claypool is a weekly starter, but I would be playing Calvin Ridley over them. We do have a quick shout-out, though. It's Juju Smith-Schuster's birthday. Now, do you want to play the birthday narrative? Birthday boy gets himself some birthday cake all over that field. Have a mighty fine day. Maybe Big Ben says, hey, happy birthday, Juju. Here's an extra end zone target. I don't know if football players do that. I probably would. Brooks, if I were the quarterback and you were my wide receiver and it was your birthday, I'd try and throw you a touchdown.
I'd be expecting that.
Whoa, Brooks. Entitlement over there. What is happening? This is all hypothetical. And you're over here getting greedy about your touchdowns. All right, a couple more quick questions, then we're going to get out of here. Reminder, thefantasyfootballers.com has our rankings. It has the start-sit tool. I encourage you all to go and look at that. Speaking of birthday, I got suckered in. Brittany says, it's my birthday and I need some help. Gibson, Woods, Higgins, or Zeke in a full PPR. Wow. That's a lot of players that you have to possibly bench, man. Because of I need some more context for this question here. So if you're just picking one and it's a PPR, I think it would – oh, my goodness gracious. It's probably Higgins of this group, but, I mean, there's touchdown upside all over here. I think we haven't liked Zeke very much lately, but I think that Zeke is back in play this week against Minnesota. So that's crazy. Anyways, DJ says Nyheim Hines or Antonio Gibson in a PPR. Further reports today from Ian Rappaport saying that the Colts will, in fact, roll with the hot hand. Also, the water is still wet. He's just letting us know what is going on that we are already watching. The PPR bump probably says that it is Nyheim Hines. Antonio Gibson, no, screw that crap. It's Antonio Gibson. I'm not going to mess around with the maybe Hines gets the hot hand. Antonio Gibson will catch a few passes, and he'll have touchdown opportunity. Oh, Sean coming in here clutch with the final question of the Sunday Live. Mariah Carey or Frank Sinatra Christmas music? Look, all I want for Christmas, I mean, that's a chart-topping, certified slapper. That song bangs. But for Christmas music, man, how do you not go, oh, Blue Eyes, man? Frank Sinatra, he holds it down. He holds things down with the Christmas music. It's probably my favorite Christmas music of all time. That is going to do it for today's episode of Sunday Live. I hope you enjoyed the gizmos and the gadgets and the upgrades that we threw in here. TheFantasyFootballers.com if you want to go check out the Start Sit tool. Let's all take deep breaths. Week 11, we can do it. We can pull out these victories. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, keep it beautiful. Mwah. Goodbye, everybody.